Hey everybody, welcome to the Friday edition of Proline. I'm Dave Koken. Jim Spice, as always, is here, and we're ready to go. Super Bowl 52 is about 48 hours away, and it's just going to be a great weekend. Before we get to Super Bowl 52, more money to be made in basketball, hopefully. I've had a good run in January in my college hoops. It really picked up. A best bet tonight in the Ivy League on the heels of a 3-1 result last night with the colleges. And I've got Yale Princeton as the best bet. You can get that game right now at jimprice.com. And meanwhile, Jim, I know you're geared up not only for the football game, but your basketball as well.
I have quite a few props. Many of them I'm giving away for free. And in the game, I have a side and total in the game. And I'm pretty excited about it. I think we're going to have a hell of a game. And as far as college hoops, I was 3-1 last night. I have one underdog play up today, and of course we have the NBA. And the big money is going to be made over the next couple of months, February and March, in hoops. The NBA is going to crank up. They're going to start getting more serious about what they're doing. The playoffs will start, but before that, there'll be teams trying to get into position. The colleges, of course, we're going to gear up with the conference tournaments, and then the big dance and all the smaller tournaments that are very important to each of these schools, and young kids that are working hard to do the best they can. And we traditionally make very well in March. February, March is a good 2 months for us. Dave should mention that to the people. And then, of course, when the NBA playoffs, you get the best players in the world actually trying to play every minute of every day, which is nice for handicapping purposes. So I'm pretty excited. This game this weekend is going to be awesome. We've got a big card of college basketball coming up this weekend as well. So this is a pretty exciting time.
It is. Look, the latest on the football game. Well, my screen actually is a little frozen right now. Let's get an update on where the numbers are right now and where we think they're going to end up, Jim, as far as the Super Bowl is concerned.
Well, what I've got, Dave, is 60% of the tickets have been written on Philadelphia. That's the tickets. But here's the number that really surprised me. 80% of the money has come in on Philadelphia. So, that's remarkable. Now, we do expect some movement towards New England in the coming days, but it just hasn't showed up, which is quite remarkable when you're talking about Belichick Brady. But, when you go back 3 weeks ago, when they posted the potential lines, which team got in, they were thinking 6.5, 7, New England over Philly. But Foles has played very well the last 2 games, and they played very well against what a lot of people consider the best defense in football last week against the Vikings, 2 weeks ago against the Vikings. So Philadelphia's got it upgraded, and they've got what they downgraded them a lot when Wentz got hurt, and Foles didn't come out and play all that well, so they were thinking their numbers were correct. But then when Foles started playing well, and believe me, Foles has talent. This guy can play, and if he gets in the right system, he can do a lot of damage. And so they're reacting to that, and the line is down 2.5, 3 points from what they thought it would be 3 weeks ago. Remarkable, but I'm looking for a good game. There's been an uptick in the total. I see one offshore that's at 49. I'm seeing a lot of 48.5s, and so the 48s are disappearing. So there is definitely it's 4.5 in the game or the over. What's that?
I don't see any more 48. I think they're gone. What I am seeing, as you mentioned, there's an offshore at 49, and Johnny Avello at the Win has the game now at 49. Johnny remains one of the sharpest odds makers in town. He's, the Win, you can get a good, when I run down my book in terms of the guys I know behind the counter who are the sharpest adjustments, Johnny Avello's always been right at the top of the list. Him going back to his days at Valley, he's a very good bookmaker, and that's look. It doesn't mean it's no automatic on the over, but the fact Johnny's ahead of the market as far as this goes, I think it's a little bit of an indicator anyway as to what's going to happen with the total in terms of where it's going to end up. It's not a prediction on the game, but in terms of where it's going to end up, I think it still gets to 49.5, Jim.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. You got two offenses that can move the football, and yeah, granted, there's also good defenses as well. Philadelphia being slightly superior, but when you're talking about Brady and Belichick picking up points, everybody kind of knows this now. But in the past 7 games that New England has been in the Super Bowl, they've yet to score a touchdown in the first quarter, which is quite remarkable.
I want to talk about that for a second, because we've both been around long enough to know when a trend becomes really popular with the public, get away from it as quickly as possible. That's really a good rule of thumb, and this one falls into that category. We're getting tons of action on all the Patriots under stuff in the first quarter because of this trend. But there's something to make note of here, and I think this is worth mentioning. The total on the first quarter, right across the board, is 9.5, and the over is still favored. And that's in every book I've got on my screen. So the bookmakers, they certainly haven't adjusted to this, and it looks to me, and again, this is just opinion, but bear in mind, we've both been doing this a long time. We know how to read an odds screen. It's my opinion that the sharper money, there's no question about what the ticket count is going to be, but the sharper money is on the first quarter over.
I agree that's probably. I'm not going to be there, but
Me neither.
but I'm not going to make any first quarter bets. I mean, if I saw a 10, I would probably bet it under, only because I'm looking at a touchdown field goal situation. But I'm not going.
They won't go.
No,
They're not going to go to 10.
No, they're not going to 10. I made a bet on this game, and it's really gotten very popular, unfortunately for the clients. But I bet over the second half is the higher scoring half. Of course, that includes the overtime if there was an overtime. There was one last year, but the way the games have been played, and the way like two weeks ago when they played Jacksonville, they scored all their points in the second half. They continually do that. They did against in Seattle a few years ago when they won that game, and they did last year against Atlanta when they won that game. They have been a very high-scoring second-half team. They make adjustments, both offensively and defensively, and they're prolific. And Brady is very accurate, very smart, maybe the best ever, I don't know, but he's great. So, I bet the second half is the highest-scoring half. I would bet under 10, but I'm not betting under 9.5 in the first quarter. Just the way the games have been played out, But you do also have to consider this, that you have a very aggressive head coach in Philadelphia, and he will stretch the field. And now that we can see that they have more and more confidence in Foles, you might see some the defense for New England not respecting him enough, and they might go deep on him a couple times. So this is going to be an interesting game. I do think these teams are pretty even. The big difference is the experience level for New England and of course, Brady versus Foles. And that can be big because quarterback leadership is monster.
It's going to be fun, no question about it. And we'll see what happens. I will be posting a prop or two later on today at the website, by the way, so you'll be able to get those at jimplace.com. I won't be posting a play on the game itself because we already have our play. We both have the same play on the game. There's no way to really post. We gave it out free on the podcast 2 weeks ago, prior to conference championship weekend. And the play was take the Patriots to win the Super Bowl on the money line at right around even money, maybe minus 105 or minus 110. That is still alive. And then our recommendation at that time was if the Patriots beat Jacksonville, take the available points as soon as they come up with the Eagles, and then just sit back and relax on Super Bowl Sunday with a fantastic middle opportunity. Jim, we're all set up as far as that goes. And those are my two biggest bets for the Super Bowl. Everything I have beyond that will be for fun. I obviously want to win, but my two biggest bets are Patriots money line minus, for me it's plus 100, and Eagles plus 6. And I think yours is exactly the same.
It is, Dave. The only thing I can say is we made a very good move there, and we did give it out to the customers free of charge on our podcast, and it's worked out very well so far. And I hope everybody got that. But if we have anybody new listening to this, and I know we do, they are going to say, well, I can't get that 105, 110 now. No, you can't. So what would, if they're asking me now, what would I advise today at the plus 4 or minus 4 number that's out there? And I would say, because I think the game is pretty even, I would probably take Philadelphia plus the 4 or 4.5. But I definitely would be betting. I definitely would be betting the over. But you got to get in there quick because it's going up, and that's just my advice today. Now I don't have to do that because what Dave said, we're already set up. We got plus 6, and we have New England at even. So we're in a different situation. But the clients that haven't gotten down on that, I would suggest bet Philadelphia plus the points.
Let's go to a free play. We have some good NBA matchups tonight. I want to focus on the best team in pro basketball, and that's the Warriors. It's never cheap to play Golden State. You can forget about getting value on them. But the idea is, if you can isolate games where they figure to arrive with focus, that's when it's a good time to play Golden State. There's not much argument that when the Warriors want to turn it up to warp speed, they can do it against anybody. I think this is one of those nights, Jim. The Warriors are off their worst loss of the season. That was a performance against the Jazz. We actually mentioned this the other day. It was so bad, their coach called it disgusting basketball. That was the word he used, was disgusting. The Warriors have played 5 games this season off a double-digit loss. They're 5-0 in those games by an average margin of 23 points per game. The only one that was competitive was, as it happened against the Cavaliers, they won that by 7. Now you add in the fact that the only prior meeting between these two teams this season was at Oracle, and Sacramento pulled a 110-106 upset. So I think you've got all kinds of focus, reasons to believe the Warriors are going to be focused tonight. I think Sacramento's in big trouble, catching the chance in what is likely to be a bad mood. You're going to have to pay a price. I mean, it's 13 or 13.5. I think that's the spot to do it. I expect the Warriors to win this game by about 20 points tonight. I played Golden State minus the points, Jim.
Well, I can't blame you, Dave. Your analysis is absolutely perfect. The NBA is about picking spots because they don't always show up with focus. You do figure they're going to show up with focus in this game. It's a big number to lay on the road, but they're a great team. Their depth is amazing, and they're playing against Sacramento, who is not that much of a club when you compare them against the Warriors. So I can see your point there, Dave, and it's going to be interesting. I love the NBA when they get down towards the playoffs because you start seeing some real intensity and some real effort, and these are the best athletes in the world. So that's what I look for. Anyway, Dave, good luck this weekend. We've got a lot of stuff up on the websites. JimFeist.com, VegasSportsMasters.com. Our plays are up there. Go there, check them out. We got I gave you some free stuff. Dave did as well. But we hope you all have a great weekend. Enjoy the game. Eat lots of pizza and burgers and all that other stuff, and drink a lot of beer. And when you get down to the end and you're cashing tickets, think of us. Thank you, Dave.